Beauty, they say, is pain, but throughout history, it has been far more than that. It has been poison, agony, and even deadly obsession. From toxic concoctions to bizarre rituals, humans have gone to horrifying lengths to meet impossible beauty standards. Today, we're diving into the dark corners of history to reveal the top 10 disturbing beauty secrets throughout history. 10. Deadly lead makeup. In the 16th century, pale skin was the ultimate marker of beauty and status in Europe. Women, including Queen Elizabeth I, turned to Venetian ceruse to achieve a flawless white complexion. This luxurious makeup, however, came with a lethal secret. It was made from lead and vinegar. Women would cake their faces with the mixture, believing it smoothed wrinkles and concealed blemishes. But what it truly did was poison them. Lead absorbed through the skin caused irreversible damage. Hair fell out, skin deteriorated, and teeth rotted away. Even so, the deadly allure of pale skin kept women coming back for more. Queen Elizabeth herself suffered from the effects, reportedly wearing heavier layers of makeup to hide her deteriorating health. A tragic irony in the name of beauty. 9. Chinese foot binding. In ancient China, the ideal of beauty was tied to a bizarre and painful practice, foot binding. Beginning as early as the 10th century, young girls' feet were tightly bound with cloth to keep them from growing. The goal? To create tiny, lotus-shaped feet, which were considered a mark of elegance and desirability. The reality was far from elegant. The process broke the bones in their feet and crushed the arch, causing permanent deformities. Girls endured infections, ulcers, and lifelong pain, all to meet a standard imposed by society. Bound feet weren't just a beauty statement. They also symbolized wealth and social status, as women with such feet were often unable to work. This gruesome tradition lasted for over 1,000 years, with millions of women suffering its effects. 8. Belladonna drops. The Renaissance brought us great art and culture, but it also brought us one of the most dangerous beauty practices in history. To achieve bright, sparkling eyes, Italian women used belladonna, or deadly nightshade, as eye drops. A few drops would dilate their pupils, giving them a wide-eyed, doe-like appearance that was deemed irresistible. But the beauty came at a steep price. Belladonna is highly toxic, and prolonged use caused blurry vision, chronic dryness, and eventual blindness. The more daring or desperate among them ignored the warnings, leading to devastating consequences. Today, the idea of using a poison for beauty might seem unthinkable, but in the Renaissance, it was simply the price of allure. 7. Arsenic complexion wafers. Pale porcelain skin was all the rage in Victorian England, but women didn't just rely on powders or creams to achieve it. Enter arsenic complexion wafers, tiny tablets laced with the deadly poison arsenic. Marketed as a miraculous beauty aid, these wafers promised to give users a radiant, translucent glow. In reality, they delivered something else entirely: chronic arsenic poisoning. Symptoms included nausea, hair loss, and organ failure. But even these horrifying side effects didn't deter women desperate for pale perfection. 6. Radioactive beauty creams. The 1920s and 1930s were a time of scientific innovation, but some discoveries had terrifying consequences. Radium, a radioactive element, was hailed as a miracle substance. Beauty brands quickly jumped on the trend, creating radium-infused creams, powders, and even lipsticks that promised to rejuvenate skin and create a natural glow. And glow it did, literally. The radioactive products left users with glowing skin, but also radiation burns, anemia, and a horrifying condition called radium jaw, where the jawbone deteriorated and disintegrated. Factory workers exposed to radium while manufacturing these products became the first casualties, and their tragic stories eventually led to bans on radioactive cosmetics. But for a time, glowing skin was more than just a metaphor, it was a deadly reality. 5. Rib removal for tiny waists. Victorian women were obsessed with achieving the perfect hourglass figure, but corsets alone weren't always enough. Some women took things to the extreme by undergoing rib removal surgeries. Yes, you heard that right. They had their lower ribs surgically removed to create a slimmer waistline. This wasn't just a cosmetic procedure, It was a life-threatening gamble. Infections, internal bleeding, and death were common risks. Even those who survived faced chronic pain and weakened bodies. The surgeries were performed in unsanitary conditions, making them even more dangerous. Yet, the promise of a tiny waist was so alluring that women continued to undergo this horrifying procedure. 4. Crocodile dung masks. Ancient Egyptian beauty rituals were advanced for their time, but some were downright bizarre. Cleopatra, the iconic queen of beauty, reportedly used crocodile dung as a face mask. Mixed with mud, the dung was believed to exfoliate the skin and maintain a youthful glow. While it's unclear how effective this treatment was, one thing is certain: it came with significant health risks. Bacteria in the dung could cause infections, and the smell must have been less than regal. Despite the risks, Egyptians considered such natural remedies a key part of their beauty arsenal. 3. Mercury treatments. In medieval and Renaissance Europe, mercury was the ultimate cure-all. It was used to treat diseases like syphilis and, disturbingly, as a beauty aid. Women applied mercury creams to lighten their skin and remove blemishes, believing it could grant them a youthful, radiant appearance. Instead, it granted them mercury poisoning. Over time, mercury exposure led to trembling, memory loss, and severe neurological damage. But in a world where fair skin was a symbol of nobility and virtue, many were willing to pay the price. 2. The tapeworm diet. The Victorian obsession with slimness gave rise to one of the most horrifying weight loss methods in history. Women would swallow pills containing live tapeworm larvae, which would hatch and grow inside their intestines. The idea was that the tapeworm would consume the food they ate, helping them lose weight without restricting their diet. The reality was a nightmare. Tapeworm infestations caused malnutrition, bloating, and severe abdominal pain. In some cases, the parasites grew so large that they caused organ damage. Getting rid of the tapeworm required risky medical procedures, and many women suffered lifelong health issues. Yet the promise of effortless weight loss kept the practice alive for decades. 1. Bloodletting for rosy cheeks. At the top of our list is a beauty practice as old as civilization itself. In ancient Greece and throughout the Middle Ages, women believed that draining small amounts of blood would improve their complexion and give their cheeks a healthy, rosy glow. Barber surgeons and medical practitioners used leeches or made small incisions to draw blood, claiming it balanced the body's humors. But bloodletting weakened the body, leaving women vulnerable to infections and other illnesses. The practice persisted for centuries, even as medical knowledge advanced, showing just how deeply ingrained beauty rituals can become. From poisonous powders to parasitic diets, history is filled with disturbing tales of beauty gone wrong. These stories remind us of the dangers of chasing perfection at any cost. Which of these beauty secrets shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more eye-opening content. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, true beauty is never worth risking your life.